Hello students. In the last 3 videos, or in fact in the last 4 videos, we showed you how to add, subtract, and multiply integers. We also showed you that you got to be fairly careful when you're raising negative numbers to powers. So in this video, we're now going to show you how to divide integers. Now the method we're going to use for this is basically to remind you that multiplying and dividing are closely linked to each other. So what we'd like you to do is just think about what it means to divide whole numbers, especially in terms of multiplying. So if we know, for example, that 2 times 3 equals 6, then we can rewrite that expression as a division question and say that also means that 6 divided by 3 is 2. So that number divided by that number gives us that number. Okay? If 5 times 7 is 35, what do you think is going to be the number equation on the right-hand side of that sentence? Well, using the same idea, if 5 times 7 is 35, then 37 divided by 7 must give us 5. Okay, so we're going to use that method or those facts to help us work out how we divide integers. So I'd like you to have a go at this, please. There's 3 questions. Use this method on each of those, and you'll be able to figure out the rule for dividing integers on your own. Okay, so stop the video and have a go, please. Okay, welcome back. Let's see how you went. So if 5 times negative 4, well, we already know from the 2 videos ago that that is equal to negative 20, because the signs are different. Then turning that around, we can say negative 20 divided by negative 4. Oops, that's pretty ugly. Divided by negative 4 gives us positive 5. If negative 3 by 7 equals negative 21, then negative 21 divided by 7 has to give us negative 3. And in the last question, if negative 2 by negative 6 is positive 12, because the signs are the same, then 12 divided by, oops, I don't know how that got there, 12 divided by negative 6 equals negative 2. So that 5, I must have copied it and forgot to change it. Now let's have a look at these 3 and see what it shows us. Well, we know that positive divided by a negative is a positive. A negative divided by a negative is also a positive. A negative divided by a positive is a negative, and a positive divided by a negative is a negative. So in fact, the rules are exactly the same as for multiplying. If the signs are the same, the answer is positive. If the signs are different, the answer is negative. So to divide integers, if the signs are the same, answer is positive. If the signs are different, answer is negative. So you can now combine the last 2 rules for multiplying and dividing into one rule. And for multiplying and dividing, if the signs are the same, the answer is positive. If the signs are different, the answer is negative. Okay, I'll get you to stop the video, please, and attempt those 5 questions. Okay, let's see how you went. Well, in this case, 15 divided 3 is 5. The signs are different. One's negative, one's positive, so it's negative 5. 10 divided 2 is 5. The signs are different, so the answer is negative. 12 divided 4 is 3. The signs are the same, so the answer is positive 3, or just 3. Quick reminder that 0 divided by any number is 0, whether it's positive or negative. And in the last question, 5 divided 5 is 1, and the signs are the same, so the answer is positive 1. Do I really want to do one more of those? No, I think we'll finish off by having you just do these 5 questions. So here's a mix of add, subtract, multiply, divide, and raising to a power. So away you go. Okay, let's see how you went. So the tricky thing now is you've learned how to do each of these operations and you practice them individually. What you have to do now, of course, is remember that the rules for each operation are different. So you have to make sure you apply the correct rule to each of the operations. So with the first question, you're adding 2 negatives. So I like to think of that as adding 2 debts. If you add a debt of $3 to a debt of $5, you get a debt of $8. Or on a number line, start at negative 3, go to the left 5. That puts you at negative 8. In the second question, you've got $3. You give me a bill for $6. Once I pay that bill, you've now got $9. Or in terms of a number line, you're at 3 on a number line, and because you're subtracting a negative, you have to move to the right 6 units, and therefore you're going to end up at 9 on the number line. Third question, to multiply 2 powers if the signs are different, the answer is negative. And to divide 2 numbers if the signs are the same, the answer is positive. And for the last question, a negative times a negative times a negative, because the power is odd, it's going to be a negative, and 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. And there you have it. We've now shown you how to add, subtract, multiply, divide, positive and negative numbers, and also how to raise negative numbers to a power. So in the last video in this series, we'll now apply order of operations. So if you have a question that includes, for example, both an addition and a multiplication, we'll just remind you what you have to do first. Okay, we'll see you in the next video.